bruh, 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 bruh.
I'm an idiot. I should have started with the innermost candles first, but I'm a village idiot and I didn't. This is the best I can do. Alright. Oh man, the cake looks like poopies now. Damn, I was actually looking forward to eating this. I think we can salvage at least some of it. What's going on, party people? How you doing? Guys, Kingdom Hearts has officially turned 20 years old. If that isn't a grim reminder for the folks that have pretty much been here since day one, that time is moving at an alarming rate I don't know what is. Seriously. This makes me feel so fucking old. Like, I'm turning 25 this year, which, oh man, I hate saying that. And to think that our silly little Kingdom Hearts is now taking over into the beginning of its third decade is a pretty insane thing to think about. Happy birthday, Kingdom Hearts, you absolute beauty of a video game franchise, and obviously congratulations to that of Square Enix, as well as Tetsuya Nomura and the entire team that have been working on this franchise for the past 20 years. Honestly can't believe it. It's sort of insane. And to think where this series has gone over the past 20 years, we're selling over 35 million copies worldwide as of, I believe, November of 2021. That's a pretty insane figure to think about. Kingdom Hearts 3 being the most successful in the series, we're selling 5 million copies within its first week. In a strange way, I feel like this is only the beginning for Kingdom Hearts. Now that, like, so many more people do know about it, I think thanks to Kingdom Hearts 3. And with this whole Phase 2 coming up, hopefully very soon, we're about to experience a second age of Kingdom Hearts. It's not only the beginning, because like we've been running for 20 years now, insane. But I wanted to do a little bit of a video today just to kind of celebrate Kingdom Hearts for an incredible milestone. Of course, this isn't the only one we've had. We've had the big 5-year, 10-year, 15-year. It's the 4th one now, sort of technically, I suppose, in a weird way. But there will be many more to come, but I feel like 20 years is pretty significant. The next big one would probably have to be 25 years, happening in 2027. God, that sounds just so weird. Being that of a quarter of a century old, yeah, this franchise is almost a quarter of a century old. But I did want to talk about my memories with Kingdom Hearts and show my appreciation towards the series. It's thanks to this series that I am able to show my shenanigans online, give my takes and opinions, and in return supplies me with a full-time job type status. I am forever grateful for the position that I am in, and that's not only thanks to Kingdom Hearts, but it's also thanks to you guys. You are the dudes who have enabled me to do this. Without you, I'd just be some dude rambling on about chicken legs, turkey legs, seasoning the chicken and stuff. So I really do appreciate that, and I honestly do appreciate Kingdom Hearts. Thank you, Tetsuya Nomura, Square Enix, and you guys especially. Today I wanted to talk about my first memories for all of the Kingdom Hearts games. Some of you guys may have heard some of my first time experiences with the franchise. I've talked about it over on Twitch as well as in videos in the past before. Now is not the time, Mr. Person on Facebook. I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts. As Kingdom Hearts was my introduction into video games, it's a franchise that means a damn lot to me. So I thought I'd talk about my first time experiences with these games. On top of that too, just talk about some of my favorite moments to do with the series, whether it be to do with the games itself, specific sort of moments, or actual, more so physical moments that have happened throughout the years. Kingdom Hearts 1, this is literally my first video game, which I am forever grateful for. My mum decided when I was 5 years old to shut my ass up. A good way to do so would be to buy a video game console, and lo and behold, it was the PlayStation 2. PS2 was my introduction into video games, and I am so grateful for that. It's hands down the best generation of console that has ever existed. I had Tekken Tag Tournament along with the Spider-Man movie, but on top of that too, individually came Kingdom Hearts. My mum thought like, okay, it's got Disney characters on it, so like this should be good for him, he likes Disney, so we'll get him this. The moment though that really pops out to me the most is just being absolutely dumbfounded by Kingdom Hearts. I did a video really recently talking about why I believe Kingdom Hearts 1's intro segment is just absolutely perfect, creating this really good sense of curiosity within the player towards its very first few hours of the game to do with Destiny Islands and Sora's dive to Heart. And this is the moment in Kingdom Hearts that probably sticks out to me the most in amongst the countless amounts of moments we've had from throughout the series. There was a range of different emotions when I played this for the very first time. I was looking forward to seeing the Disney characters, so seeing those cutscenes of Donald and Goofy. Being excited to see what other Disney characters and worlds that I would visit was a really exciting thing, a familiar thing, but then also at the same time this absolute curiosity and also confusion with who is this boy? What is this key? There was also feelings of being absolute shit scared thanks to the Heartless and the deep dive segment as well with the Shadow Heartless and whatnot. I don't know, just a lot of strange emotions, especially with the Dark Side Heartless too. I mentioned this in that video talking about Kingdom Hearts 1's intro, but no shit, when I mentioned that like for months there, I was actually kind of having like nightmares about the dark side. I really was, dude. That moment within Kingdom Hearts 1 literally did become nightmare fuel for me. And that was the very beginning for not only my introduction into video games, but my passion and love for this series specifically. The biggest lesson that I learned through Kingdom Hearts, and I'm so glad that I did learn about this at such an early age, was the importance behind friendships and connections. And I know this sounds so cheesy, so corny, but Kingdom Hearts really does emphasize the importance of friendships and holding those close to you. This made me really appreciate and cherish all of the different moments I had with my friends growing up, and ultimately made me aware to really appreciate the friendships that I have. This theme of friendship is the focus point of Kingdom Hearts, and it's further emphasized as, of course, we go through the series. So I'm really happy that the biggest takeaway I got from not only Kingdom Hearts 1, but growing up with the numerous other installments that followed, that it keeps teaching me and reminding me about friendship and just how important certain connections are. Kingdom Hearts 2, though, was when that love and passion was taken to the next level. I think Square Enix did a lot of improving towards just redefining that absolute beautiful action RPG formula they had created for KH1 and just took it to god tier level with number 2. There's things that Kingdom Hearts 1 still has to this day that is unmatched in any other Kingdom Hearts game. I think that comes down to the world interactions as well as the way that Disney was portrayed in KH1 is just simply unmatched, but gameplay wise KH2 is absolutely god tier. It really is still hard to decide what my favorite Kingdom Hearts game is. It would have to be out of Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3. 3 also absolutely incredible with that Remind DLC, but I just don't know at this point. It's so hard to pick between the two. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 I came across, it probably would have been a year after release, around the time I would have been likely about 8 or 9 years old. This was during the era that, like, although I did have internet, I didn't really keep up with video game news or anything, and in a sense, it was this wholesome way of coming across new video games, because I would simply go down to the video rental shop, because that's how I'd play all of my games back then, and go into the new release section to see exactly what new video games are currently popping, and lo and behold, one time when I was 8 or 9, yeah, there was Kingdom Hearts 2. The box art is what clearly stands out the most and caught my eye instantly, in amongst, of course, you know, the familiar looking characters as well as that logo, but I remember looking at Sora and I'm like, wait, Sora looks kind of different, and also, who's that blonde-haired dude? So checking it in later on that day, and my god, I was glued to that game from start to finish. I rented it on a Friday, and I had to go to school, obviously, on that Monday, so I remember absolutely throwing a tantrum come that Monday, trying to come up with all kinds of excuses to stay home and just continue playing this game. At this point, I think I was up to Pride Land, so kind of getting close to the end of the game, and I just wanted to keep playing. I wasn't successful in this attempt, by the way. I ended up just making a complete utter fool of myself, literally in the driveway of our property at the time, with some of the neighbors who were taking out their rubbish, because this was in the morning, you know, getting ready for school at like 6, 7 o'clock, and turning up to school in just tears. I remember one of my friends asking me like, hey, is everything all good? Probably concerned that there was some nonsense going on at home.
Hi, dude, yeah. No, yeah, I'm fine. I just wanted to keep adventuring with Donald and Goofy and saving these Disney worlds from certain defeat.
Bro's standing there like,
Dude, bro, pull yourself together. What's wrong with you? Ben, I stuck up for you when you pulled a tsunami tantrum over not being able to play any more Age of Empires 2. I don't want to hear it.
as I mentioned, Kingdom Hearts 2 really elevated my passion for the series to an entirely new level where for quite some time it was pretty much all I would ever think about. I was constantly on the internet researching absolutely anything I could about the series, and while I was pretty infatuated with other video game franchises like Jak and Daxter, Ratchet & Clank, Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, and a lot more, Kingdom Hearts was at the top of that tier list. I remember being absolutely just taken back by the really cool, stylish moves you could pull off in Kingdom Hearts 2 with the reaction commands, and especially the dual wielding. That moment of Roxas pulling out 2 Keyblades, and then you're able to play around with these 2 Keyblades and kick Axel's ass is monumental. It's iconic, simply legendary. The Twilight Thorn boss fight with Tension Rising playing in the background was just absolutely insane, not to mention the overall soundtrack of Kingdom Hearts 2. Sinister Shadows, the theme that would play during the 1000 Heartless fight, oh my god, my child brain couldn't handle it. The amount of times the king saved my ass because of my small child gremlin hands not being able to compute the right inputs to stay safe was absolutely just crazy, and being completely blown away by the fact that I can actually play as Mickey Mouse now. Oh, baby. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 was totally in a realm of its own. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories is a really interesting one. I didn't really have Nintendo devices up until the DS, but at the time, I could never find the original Chain of Memories. It wasn't until sort of years later where I eventually played it via an emulator. But looking at Re-Chain of Memories, it never came to my country. I believe it was only ever in America and Japan. America got a standalone version, but it was never released in PAL region. So my memories of Re-Chain of Memories was coming across this other PlayStation 2 Kingdom Hearts game. At the time, I didn't know that they ended up fully remaking Chain of Memories, and being ultimately confused by this, doing research, and honestly, this is probably one of the very first times I did research towards anything to do with Kingdom Hearts. Finding out that it's only in America and that it was attached to a Final Mix version, then doing research about the Final Mix version, and finding out that there is an extended version of Kingdom Hearts 2, and also Kingdom Hearts 1 that comes with more content. Number 2's Final Mix really stood out the most, just due to the Cavern of Remembrance, because I also remember seeing videos online of this purple, ominous looking place, and how you get into this new area, which is the hole in the side of the Hollow Bastion Radiant Garden Castle. I remember I booted up my game and then went there, and there was no hole there, and I'm like, okay, what is going on? And then found out, yeah, okay, it's the Final Mix version. This pushed me into my introduction into emulation. And it wasn't too soon after that I got PCSX2 up and running, found an English patched version, and was finally able to play Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix as well as KH1 Final Mix. Playing these extended versions of the game was like having your absolute favorite piece of food, but then you figure out some kind of herb or spice or extra condiment or something to add to that food, and it just makes it that much tastier, especially with KH2 Final Mix. Having that swaggy old crown, the additional Keyblades, the Roxas versus Sora segment, my god, one of the most legendary moments in the game. And of course, the additional boss fight, Lingering Will, caused me a lot of tears and a lot of pain as a child. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, I never got to actually fully experience this game up until about 2013. This is also the same to be said with Kingdom Hearts Recoded as well. That was the year that I finally picked up a Nintendo 2DS. And I shit you guys not, literally, I still have this. I still have this. This is my very first ever 3DS, but it's 2DS, the Toast DS. But one of my friends who wasn't actually too into Kingdom Hearts, but had heard it was a good RPG, had Days on his DS at the time, so I got to experience a little bit of it, but never was able to fully play it for myself. Recoded was good. I remember always being absolutely taken back by like its gameplay, you know, in comparison to that of Days, but Days sticks out so much because it was a full-blown Roxas game, which at the time a lot of us really wanted. It's also, hands down, probably the saddest Kingdom Hearts game out of the bunch, and to learn more about the organization, working for the organization, was dope. I really felt like Recoded was more of this Kingdom Hearts 1 but for DS, a Kingdom Hearts 1 DS version, even though it's obviously an additional game. Story-wise, you were going back to all of those Kingdom Hearts 1 worlds, and it was quite cool to have that type of experience on a portable system. Birth by Sleep is a funny one though, because I didn't get to play Birth by Sleep until about 2011. I had owned 2 PlayStation Portables in the past before then, but in 2011 I ended up going overseas for the first time. At the start of that year it was Australia, and then partway through that year, about halfway through in about June, I ended up going to Hawaii, my very first trip to America. And I had previously sold those other PlayStation Portables, and during the time of being over there, I know, I'm in sunny Hawaii, I could be lying on the beach, doing all sorts of cool things, indulging in the American goodness, but I thought to myself, I need a portable gaming system, and so I decided to pick up a really cheap, because stuff over there, in comparison to this country, is so cheap. Ended up picking up a really cheap second-hand PlayStation Portable, because I absolutely had to play Birth by Sleep. I spent many months from 2010, the release year of the game, up until going over to Hawaii, watching countless amounts of BBS, being like, I need to play this. This is ridiculous. This looks absolutely incredible, and connecting onwards from that ending movie of Kingdom Hearts 2 that teased BBS, I needed to know more about this. So Birth by Sleep, no shit, ruined my holiday. It actually ruined my holiday, but not ruined in that full sense of ruined, because it was beautiful. When I think of Birth by Sleep, when I play Birth by Sleep, it just takes me back to Hawaii. I was mostly sitting in the hotel room for most of the time of playing BBS, but there are a couple of days where I was lying on the beach, indulging in the story of Ventus, Aqua, and Terra. The ending of that game is a little bit depressing, so I remember coming home a little bit depressed. Thanks, Birth by Sleep. Dream Drop Distance I eventually got to play in 2013 when I picked up this bad boy. So yeah, this is also the way I experienced oh, okay, hello, you're on. My very first DDD experience, and that was super memorable, only because this was also the first year I played Days as well as Recoded. I was also able to play Dream Drop Distance, and going from the gameplay of those games, while I do believe they're good, to what felt like more of an authentic Kingdom Hearts experience, with Dream Drop Distance feeling very similar-ish to that of Birth by Sleep, with its own quirks with the flow motion, was a really good time. I remember just being glued to it, and also getting that story that makes it so close to getting Kingdom Hearts 3, and then seeing that final segment of, you know, Sora and Riku walking towards the light, seeing the Roman numeral of 3, got me absolutely ecstatic. A fantastic bridge title. And then after that, I decided to start doing Kingdom Hearts content here on YouTube. The rest, I guess, is history. My love and passion for this series was at just such a high point where I'm like, I really want to talk about this. I had already been doing YouTube for a little while, talking about all sorts of other stuff to do with games. I don't know, just like simple Easter egg videos and glitch videos. And I really wanted to start doing content about something that I had a strong passion for, and so I decided to start talking about Kingdom Hearts. I then, of course, ended up meeting a few other Kingdom Hearts content creators, HMK, Soralim, as well as Sky. We formed this group known as the Key Keepers, and after beginning in 2014, it was a year later that things were going really well. I was starting to get a bit of money coming in through it, and we planned this trip to PAX PAX East, Boston, 2015. I ended up getting to meet these guys and even meet some of you dudes too, and to be fully enveloped in the gaming industry, in the gaming world. It was simply magical. Since then, I've been back to Boston a few more times to, of course, you know, envelop myself in that gaming goodness. I've also been able to attend E3, which has been a dream of mine since a kid, tuning into numerous different E3 conferences. Probably the most memorable moment and opportunity that has been given to me through talking about Kingdom Hearts here is most certainly the Kingdom Hearts 3 premiere event that happened back in 2018, coming up almost 4 years ago this May. It was an absolute honor to be able to be among the first to play Kingdom Hearts 3, a long-awaited third numbered installment into a franchise that I had grown up with, that created and sort of birthed my love for video games. It was a true honor. But not just that, to actually meet some of the people, some of the minds behind this video game series. The grandfather of Square Enix, Shinji Hashimoto. On top of that, Papa Nomura himself. I got to meet him at the Kingdom Hearts 3 premiere event. But not just that, I was personally pulled away by him, and I think this was due to my reaction. So during the session of when the content creators were sitting down trying Kingdom Hearts 3, he was walking around sort of watching people enjoy their experience, which was cool, and obviously everyone ended up sort of freaking out when he had sort of walked by. Mine though, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but like I guess you guys know how sort of expressive I am. I've even got a video of it on the internet. I'll try to find some footage, but I schoolgirled. I really schoolgirled. I'm like, my god, like I can't, it's the man himself. It's the man himself. So I think it's because of that like schoolgirl moment that I displayed, where he actually pulled me away. I am so blessed because I was actually the only one that got this chance.
My man, Tetsuya, you have no idea, man.
All of the content creators that attended this were given like a little tote bag with a few goodies, and one of those goodies was a little Kingdom Hearts 3 notebook, but Nomura especially signed mine with my name on it, with the date and his signature, his famous signature with the crown. Truly, like, I don't know, man, like, it's probably one of the greatest moments of my life, if not the greatest moment. And what's even cooler is a month after that, I ended up attending E3 2018, and I was outside with a viewer of mine, which I'm really happy a viewer of mine was with me at the time, standing just talking to him, and in the corner of my eye, I see someone waving, and it's him, dude. It's Tetsuya Nomura once again. Our fates, they're intertwined. So he like called me over, and I think a day beforehand, the Pirates of the Caribbean as well as the Frozen reveals happened in individual trailers, which is really cool. So I got the chance to like thank him for the amazing work that he's been doing for Kingdom Hearts 3, but at the same time too, my viewer was also able to get a photo with Tetsuya Nomura, talk to him. Talking to him is a little bit hard because he's not exactly fluent in English. There is a translator there that you kind of need to speak through, but yeah, it was really, really cool. So I'm just so grateful and so honored that I've been, I guess, enabled to be able to do this for a living. And again, it's only thanks to you guys. For some reason you decided, yeah, this guy, he's the one. Let's enable him to do this. And I'm just, I don't know, man, I'm forever grateful. This journey of doing Kingdom Hearts content for the past, like, what, 7 sort of years, my channel last year turned 10 years old, has been an absolutely incredible one. And really made that whole wait for Kingdom Hearts 3 even more exciting, to be able to share it with so many other people, to meet so many other people along the way, create some lifelong friends, and have some experiences that I think I'll just never ever forget. Some of my all-time best and favorite moments in my life so far. Happy birthday, Kingdom Hearts. I'm actually gonna get a little bit emotional here. Oh my god, dudes. Oh my god. I'm really proud of this franchise, man. Like, I really am. And, like, again, I think this is only the beginning. I find it. I'm fine. Honestly, like, happy birthday, Kingdom Hearts. It's insane to think that 20 years, we're here. Wow. It's insane. Thank you so much, Square Enix. However, dudes, that's all for today. I know this is a long one, and I feel like I've been rambling a lot, but some really cool stuff and moments that I felt like I had to kind of share with you dudes. In the comment section down below, give me some of your favorite moments from throughout the series, or actual physical times that you have connected to the series itself. I would love to hear yours. Our next stop is the big Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event that is happening very soon. I'm also wondering, because as of right now, I'm recording during a time where it's not actually the 20th, so I'm wondering if Square Enix will do anything for the 20th anniversary. Who knows, before the actual event happens come the 10th of April. We'll have to wait and see. How about it, I'm Cynical. Hopefully I'm gonna get a dang good one, and I'll catch you guys real soon. Peace.